everybody, and welcome back to Drawing with Paolo. Today we're going to draw a simple drawing, a Puma special request. So body over here and the legs sort of this way and on a stone down here, and we'll have some grass probably in the background. And so to begin with, we're going to set up where his head should be. And then from here we're going to draw a rectangular shape sort of this way with a little bit of a curve in it. So that's for his neck, powerful neck. And then here we'll make a little box, sort of roundish square where his upper body will lie. And then this line here, imagine that being the back and over here to his legs. So his belly will be sort of over here, and it'll attach to his back legs, his hind legs over here. And then what we're going to do is draw a little bit of a stone here like that, so that we can put his paws, his front legs, on top of this, like so over here. And they'll come and lean down here. So let's put down this leg all the way up like this. And his left side, right side. Do the same thing on this side, so we'll put his right side down first, so we know how wide it needs to be his stance. And then we'll put the left side here of that right leg. And there you go. That's overall is the look that we need for our Puma. So let's work on his face. Let's start with the ears. So we'll put a little triangle like this, and a little bit rounded out. And then this one is a bit more foreshortened, so it's a little thinner, just like that. We'll attach that to his forehead, and then we'll pull down a line here, which represents his cheekbone. Something here that represents his nose, his snout, and we'll put his cheek line like that, and that's pretty much what you need for the head. Curve that out a little bit more, and now we're going to draw in the line to the side of his face, so sort of over here. And this is where his mouth hits the side, and we can erase these lines here in the middle. There we go, nice and clean. Alright, so the next step is we're going to draw his eyes, and so I'm just going to finish off this outline here for his ear, and we're going to start with his right eye here. So here's a little bit of an almond shape of where the eyes should go, and they're sort of parallel here across the line. And then, just like any cat, you got to give it a little bit of a point on either side of those eyes. Just like this. It's not too bad. And then we'll have a nose line that comes sort of over here on the side. And we'll put in some curved lines here that will help us color later on, where all the colors of the Puma should go. And then this is the top of his nose. So we want to make a really fat letter T here, like that, with a point at the bottom. And the V line here for his upper lip, just like that. There we go. And then we're going to color in his eye here. We're going to put a few more details, sort of like that. Same thing over here, a little bit of an eye in there. Leave a little bit of a sheen in there, a little bit of a reflection. And then we're going to make this curved line here. Once again, this is going to help us for coloring it in. And we'll color in his snout, like this, black at the bottom. Just like this, giving it a bit of a thickness. The idea of 3D to it. And color in the top. There we go. A little bit of a point at the top there. And let's rearrange his lip line here a little bit more. Color that in black, make it darker. And then we'll give it a little bit of a hairline around here. And a little bit of a goatee, just like this. Puma's hairs are pretty short. And so it's a compact hair, but you don't see it like a dog's hair, for example. Certain dogs have the same kind of hair where it's very, very short hair. But I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit today just so that we can actually be able to draw some hair on this animal. Otherwise, you just have a pretty much straight outline, just like this. So, you know, we're not giving too much hair detail here, just straight lines going across. It's for the cheekbone right here. And we'll do the same thing over here where we're going to draw where this will be a little brighter. So just like that, and his eye line, sort of like this, a little bit darker. Give him some eyeshadow for all you makeup folks out there. And a few details around his eyebrows. All right. Now let's color, or let's draw the back line of his neck like this. And we'll attach that to his shoulder and do his ear outline a little bit darker because I'm going to keep it like that. They have to be parallel, right? And color that in here. Make it dark inside here and a little bit darker here on the far left side so you can see depth in that ear. And we'll apply a little bit of dark line here and here on the back ear. Make that a bit darker as well. So a relatively short video today, close to 20-minute drawing. Not too difficult. The eyes need to be nice and dark around there, so I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Give it a bit of height to it. Oh, just colored in the whole eye there. Oh well. Doesn't really matter, you know. I've sort of scrapped it, but just to show you guys that it doesn't really matter, I'm not going to even change it. I'm not going to erase it. I'm not going to redo it. I'm just going to color in the whole face, just like this. And then we're going to erase certain parts afterwards. We're going to make some parts white, but let's make it all gray to begin with. And we'll redraw the outlines of certain facial features. And then we're going to use these lines that we pre-drew that we're going to color in. We're going to use these lines to change the shading to our animal here. So make this chin piece a little bit darker. That, and then see we're going to erase a little bit of white here underneath his snout. Move that out of the way. And then erase a little bit on the other side as well. Just like that. And maybe the bottom part of his lip is white as well. And we're going to give him some darker lines because I may have erased them a little bit. Do the outline here. There we go. And we're going to color in here at the side of his head. Make that a bit darker. Comes to attach here to the eyebrow line. Make this a little bit darker. Same thing under his broken eye here. Maybe our Puma's been in a battle and he's hurt his eye. And see, that's what's fun about drawing, is I can invent whatever the heck I want. And so you can do the same. Just, you know, if you messed something up, you can explain to people what happened to this animal. He fought another one and lost. Who knows? Or maybe the other one's even worse. He came out pretty good compared to the Puma he fought. Or maybe he fought a lion. Who knows? Probably not. Anyway, just have fun with your drawing. Do what you want to do. Let's erase the part underneath his eye here. We'll give him a little bit of a white patch here. Same thing on this side, if we can make it inside that little spot. And we're going to retrace the lines that we've erased. Just like that, make that a little bit darker. And now we're going to color the side of his body there in a few seconds. But first let's put in a few whiskers. So these whiskers would generally be white, but because I'm working on a white page, I can't really draw in white, so I'm going to make black whiskers. And the point here is really to understand what you're supposed to do, so it doesn't really matter what the color it is. Let's put some whiskers in here, a few like that. And we'll add a few dots to where these whiskers come out of. Alright, and I'm going to darken the bottom lip here a little bit more. Let's attach a neckline here. A little bit of a hairy neckline like this. Comes to the torso. The chest part attaches to his front legs. Have a little bit of a toe line, and then here's his back, which attaches to his belly, which attaches to his hind leg. Sort of going all the way down like that. And this part here, we need to erase that, so I'll show you how to do that. I won't use the hand wipe, just erase it for you. There we go. And we'll do the same thing over here. Erase this line that we don't need anymore. So those foundation lines that we used at first, we don't need them. We can erase them. And now we're going to color in the whole body. So let's speed this up a little bit. And I'm just using diagonal strokes here, keeping it real simple. And then we're going to shade on top of that later on. Shade and or erase, because there's certain parts I want to see white. So here's his right hind leg. And we're going to give it a bit more shape to our body. So let's give it a bit of 3D. We're going to give it some folds here. So on his chest, because his legs are close together, there's a little bit of a separation here, or a fold in his pelt. And this is where the legs come to attach. I'll make that a little bit darker in there. And make this a little bit deeper by adding a bit more lines, darker lines like this. This has a little fold line over here. And notice how my lines are overlapping, and this gives it more realism. So you want that to happen generally. This line will continue all the way up to his neck. Get a bit more lead here on my pencil, and then I'm going to curve this out like that and give him a bit more skin folds, sort of over here. Color that in a little bit as well. Give it some depth. Do the same thing for the back of his neck over here. Color that in. Get a bit of shading on the side here. Give it a. We want to show that the pelt isn't, or his skin isn't totally stretched out. He's got it's close to winter, and he's got a bit more hair, and so there's thicknesses and folds, sort of like clothing, I suppose. There's a bit of fat under there as well. So this Puma is well fed, and we're going to color this part here a little bit darker, leaving a little bit of a white sheen here on the right side, right? Just a little bit. So we're going to color that down. I'll bring it all the way to his paws. Give it a bit of a hairline. Straight line here. And then to a toe and an ankle. Let's do the same thing on this side. So a little bit of a hairline. And then we'll draw the toes in. So here's one toe, two toes, three over here, and then of course the tendons that we can see, and here's this fourth toe onto the rock, sort of like that. And we're just going to give some draw in some rock details, something really simple, nothing too detailed, and we'll color in his paws next. So all this is nice and black. And do the same thing to the right side here. And now let's erase and put some white patches into his chest piece here. So erase all this stuff here. There we go. Maybe bring this a little bit higher, just like that. All right, back line, his rump, and then we're gonna give it some hairlines here. So I want to show that the skin and hair is sort of thick, so we're just going to draw some of these zigzaggy lines in here that demonstrate the thickness of his skin to where his pec muscles are, and fill that in with little zigzaggy lines that show that the skin and hair is it's a thick hair. Short, but thick nonetheless. He's ready for winter, or he's coming out of fall, I don't know. Or coming out of winter. Make this a little bit darker, give it a bit more of a 3D look by adding the same lines we added on his chest to his legs and wrapping that around. So by rounding that, it gives the idea of 3D. Darken the underbelly here a little bit. Hope you guys are following along. Don't forget that you can always pause this at any time. And you can make any modifications you like to this drawing as you go on. Don't be shy to add a backpack to this animal, rocket launchers, a butterfly on his head, whatever you guys want to do. It's your drawing, you invent it the way you like. I'm just going to draw a real basic Puma here and make his hind legs here a little bit darker than his body. And this connecting area here is a little bit rounded out, so we want to color that in, make it a little bit darker. So it shows that this is sort of like a rounded piece. And round it out like that. And so we're going to color in a little bit of that skin texture. All right. And we're going to color in a little bit of shadow here for his belly, so it's a little bit darker underneath. And as we work our way up, we go lighter and lighter, okay? You want it darker under here. Press a little bit harder, and as we work our way up, you release the pressure on your pencil. Nice, and you want it nice and rounded. Give the illusion of roundedness, even if we're working on a flat surface. That's what drawing is, it's illusion. So you have fun with trying to make it look real. Or make it look 3D on a flat space. All right, we're gonna add more of those zigzaggy lines. Add a few more details here and there. Bring certain depth to the drawing and more contrast. More details. Over here too. Oh, not bad. Hey, the Puma's coming along great. Add a few more little paw details here, and we'll add his toes on this side. Forgot those, so we're gonna add those in. Same thing as the other side, nothing too fancy, just a few curves, and color that in black. There we go. And a few of the tendon lines that are coming across here, and give it a bit of a shadowy part. The light doesn't really make it down there. Same thing over here, shadow that in a little bit. Put a bit of shading here on the left side, and let's redraw this back line here a little bit, make that darker. We'll give him a tail, so his tail is just hanging over here on the far left side, just a straight line, straight down, and we'll color that in a little bit darker to push it back into the background. There we go. And now we're going to work on the stone. So a lot of people have been asking me, how do you draw rocks? Well, here's one example of how to draw a rock. And what you want to do is color the whole thing in while leaving some white spots in it. So here are some few lines and zigzaggy things, and you just doodle around in there. So I'm just going to doodle some shapes, generally oval shapes, but really elongated ovals, and draw them all around, and just like that. You know, just be liberal, be free with this, and just have fun with it. And then we're going to color it all in here. A few seconds like this, a little bit lighter. And then we're going to add some shading and whatnot on top of that, darker parts and lighter parts. So just a few details like this. And it's sort of like doodling. So for those of you out there that wanted a Puma, I hope this is what you expected. You can invent your own, change this drawing, make it like as you like, and you know, don't be afraid to mess it up. It's okay to make mistakes, like I did with my eye. My eye is not really nice on this Puma, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm happy with my drawing, and I don't, you know, it doesn't really matter. I can just draw another one afterwards if I want to. Or if you really wish, you can erase that eye and make it better than mine, and there you go. You guys have a nicer drawing than my drawing. So, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this Puma. I'm going to add a few more details here to his neck piece and to his back line a little bit there. And this is it. This is drawing number, or video number 47, I think. And I've got a bunch more to go. So, stay posted. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Every Friday or Saturday is when I launch another video. So, for those of you who are wondering when that happens. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Drawing with Paolo, and we'll see you next time. Have a nice day.